announced a total hybrid war on us. It's difficult to forecast how long this all will last, but it's clear that the consequences will be felt by everybody without exception.
The backdrop is that Russia has cut the electricity supply to Finland because Finland want to join NATO, and that looks to be imminent. Sweden also look to NATO for protection, and they will look to join NATO as well. If I was in the Baltic states now, of course, if you've got Russia next door, you're going to ask questions about what their intentions are, and Poland and Moldova. And further, if you go to the Arctic Circle to, I think it's 70 degrees north, there is an Arctic border, Norway and Russia, because I've peered across it. So what are the next intentions? Cormac Smith is with me, former strategic communications advisor to Pavlo Klumkin when he was Ukraine's foreign affairs minister. Cormac, good morning to you, sir.
Andrew, good morning to you, and lovely to talk to you again.
And lovely to talk to you as well.
Andrew, could I start off, as they say in Parliament, could I associate myself with your comments about this being a black and white conflict? I don't think there has been as black and white conflict in our world since 1949.
You know, Cormac, there are loads of people, Cormac, that will now say, well, there's two sides to every story, and if you are going in looking to prosecute people for potential war crimes, genocide, you have to, you have, something has to be beyond reasonable doubt. It has to be a fair trial. Justice has to be seen to be done. But I was told by a very senior bloke, Sir Geoffrey, who said you've got to go in with a view on this, and I was convinced by his argument.
Well, Andrew, you know me, you know I've got very strong views on this.
Yes. What is Sergei Lavrov talking about? We've declared total hybrid war.
Yeah, look, this is both bizarre and ironic in the extreme. For those listeners who may not be aware, it was Russia who invented hybrid warfare in its current form and unleashed it on the world with the illegal annexation of Crimea back in 2014. Now, hybrid warfare is a mixture of conventional violence, cyber attacks, assassinations and murders on foreign soil, as we had in Salisbury in 2018, and lying on an industrial scale as the Russian Federation does with its vomitoriums like RT, which is happily banned from the UK now, Sputnik and their troll bombs in principally in St. Petersburg and Moscow. So yeah, it's absolutely bizarre. But look, this man, this despicable human being, Sergei Lavrov, has absolutely no credibility. This was the man I first learned when I went out to Kyiv in 2017. I counted 5 statements in 1 month saying that Russia was not even in Donbass.
Yeah.
This is the man on the eve of the invasion who said Ukraine has no right to sovereignty. This is the man that came out, if you remember, Andrew, at the very first negotiations, supposedly peace talks with Dmytro Kuleba, Ukraine's foreign minister in Turkey, and the first thing he said in his press conference was Russia has not invaded Ukraine. This despicable human being and sidekick of Putin has no credibility. His remarks are laughable.
I note that his daughter was sanctioned. She went to school here, and she bought a £4.4 million apartment in Kensington, which I assume has been taken off her now. I don't know where she is. I don't know her. I don't know whether she's a pawn in this game or not. But for too long, we allowed the clearing of money here, and you don't buy, if you are 21 years of age, a £4.4 million flat in Kensington with cash, do you? Unless daddy's been up to no good.
No, we have to, the West is not engaged in a hybrid warfare, and Ukraine's engaged in a war, and the West is supporting Ukraine. And I've got to say, although that support is getting better and better, it's still not going far enough. We still need to give them fighter jets. On the sanctions, we still need to cut off the almost $1 billion a day that we feed into their war into their war machine, and we still need to get better at going after the oligarchs like this guy and their families, so we really hold their feet to the fire. And of course, the other area we support them is, and is in humanitarian aid. So yes, Ukraine fights a war. We support them, but remember, it's Russia that has been waging a hybrid war, not only on Ukraine for 8 years, but on all of the West.
Good speaking with you. Cormac Smith, former strategic communications advisor to Pavlo Klimkin, Ukraine's foreign minister. Lesia Vasylenko joins me, Ukrainian MP for the pro-European Holos Party, co-chair of the country's UK friendship group. Lesia Vasylenko, welcome to LBC once again.
Good morning.
One can, I just find it's almost impossible to even hear the words of Sergei Lavrov, your response to what he said. Apparently we're declaring war from the West, a hybrid war on Russia.
I think it's something that we have all heard so many times before. It's just a whole lot of mumbo jumbo formed in a strategic propaganda that Russia is using, first of all, on its own people, and then on the rest of the world. Sergei Lavrov's general listeners and viewers are based in Russia. Nobody is really taking Russia seriously beyond Russia anymore. And the political establishment of Russia, Putin, Lavrov, Shoigu, all the rest of them, they need to keep their feeding their people lies in order to keep their people accepting the fact that Russia is aggressively invading Ukraine. Of course, they're not calling it an aggression. No. They're calling it a liberation of some sort. Yes. But again, the civilized world also knows that this is a complete.
Let's reiterate that point, if you don't mind, Lesia. We have some people with us from Ukraine at home. I was talking with her yesterday, and she was telling me that on Thursday she has WhatsApp groups. She's from Mariupol. She has WhatsApp groups, great friends, only 40, 50 miles away. She has friends in Russia. And she speaks Russian, although she promises that she will not speak Russian soon at all. But she says she thinks in Russian as well. But she said to me that her friends in Russia, close friends, great mates, they've had children together, are telling her that she's made a terrible mistake, that she must immediately go back to Mariupol, where everything is safe, and that she has got it all wrong. The Russians are there to help her to get rid of this Nazi government of Zelensky. I mean, it is incredible. This is the information that the Russians are getting. Good, smart people.
Good, smart people living in a bubble, completely deprived of any source and channel of information coming from the outside, and hearing day in, day out, 24/7, just the same message repeated all over again, that they are essentially the saviors, that everything is fine in Ukraine, that Ukrainians are making a mistake. And it's a kind of hypnosis that they are under. The world has seen it so many times. I mean, Russia has been under such hypnosis during Stalin. Germany has been under such hypnosis during Hitler. The propaganda of an authoritarian regime just works magic on the human psyche, on the human mind. This is exactly what's happening with those people living just 5-10 kilometers off the border with Ukraine, but still living in Russia, where there's no access to any information. Putin has been preparing for this war. He has killed off the opposition. He has killed off the free media. He has been doing this for years. And when I say killed off, he has done it physically, as well as by putting them into prisons, by making sure that they are out of the country and never heard in the country again. So strategically, Putin has been preparing for this aggression for years and years to come. And for him, back at home, this is proving to be a rather successful operation, because nobody knows of the losses of the almost 28,000 Russian soldiers killed in the soil of Ukraine, of the 200 and plus planes down in Ukraine. Nobody knows about this in Russia. Nobody, of course, knows about the fact that the 150,000 people that still remain in Mariupol have to queue for days to get food, and there's only enough food for 1,500 people, for a minute percentage of the ones that
and we must when I heard that there are volunteers who can still go through the filtration system, the checks, to actually go and check on people and try to get information out of that city to families and loved ones and relatives who are now scattered throughout Ukraine, Poland, elsewhere, and some throughout the world. They're getting information out saying, yes, your father-in-law, yes, your father is okay. There's not much information coming out, but after what Putin and Russia have done to that city, it is remarkable that there are volunteers. I mean, the spirit of Ukraine, oh my God, never seen anything like it.
We care. Ukraine cares for its people, and Ukrainians care for each other. And even during the hardest fighting, which has just started, immediately we had volunteers going in there, checking the basements, trying to find the people. I myself was using this volunteer service, a number of times when I had people reaching out to me, begging to find whether their family was still alive. I have a colleague whose sister was staying in the basements of Mariupol, and he lost touch with her. He spoke to her for 2 minutes, and then the line broke because there was no power supply, and we had to find those volunteers to help us find her, make sure that she was alive, and then it was a whole different story about getting them out. I mean, Mariupol has become an unthinkable city, not just to live in, but even to just imagine that it exists in the world.
Right.
Apart from the food shortages that are there still now, and people having to rummage through garbage bins to find some food, we have services such as recharging of mobile phones. You pay by the minute to recharge your mobile phone with electricity because it's so scarce. We have Russian troops which are riding down the streets and taking videos to make a TikTok video out of it by shooting at Ukrainian buildings and destroying Ukrainian civilian cars. This is just madness.
We should have given you another 10 minutes, Lesia, but we have to stop for the news. Thank you so much for your time and for your observations as well. It is always fascinating. Lesia Vasilenko, Ukrainian MP, 718. Your impressions. Lavrov says, the Russian foreign minister says, we're declaring hybrid war on Russia. Listen, if a bunch of nutters start calling me and Russian bots and stuff, I'm not taking your calls. So just, if you could call me if you want to be sensible, otherwise don't. Lottie Morley with the news.
10 people have been shot and killed at a supermarket in upstate New York. Tributes are being paid to 46-year-old cricketer Andrew Simons, who died in a car crash overnight. And Ukraine has won the Eurovision Song Contest, with the UK coming in second. LBC weather, cloudy today with some sunny spells and a high of 24 degrees. LBC Travel, I'm Anne-Marie Walsh. In Stratford, the A11 is closed both ways between Chobham Road and Maryland Railway Station for accident investigation work. In Soho, Coventry Street is closed between the A4 and Whitcomb Street for an investigation. And expect delays on the M25 clockwise around Junction 7 for the M23 interchange, as the exit slip road to both sides of the M23 is closed for roadworks. On the tubes, there are severe delays on the Central Line this morning, and on the trains. Because of engineering works, there's no service on Gatwick Express between the airport and Victoria. Passengers are advised to use Southern or Thameslink services, and there's no service on London Overground. That's from New Cross Gate to West Croydon and Crystal Palace.
Swarbrick on Sunday, coming up at 10, live from Westminster, LBC.
Waitrose believe that low prices are not the only essential when it comes to your groceries. That's why Essential Waitrose British Mature Cheddar 350 grams for only £2 is made to a unique Tor Valley recipe. And 10 essential frozen fish fingers for just £1.90 are made from sustainable line-caught Atlantic cod. Find hundreds of products in the Essential Waitrose range. Quality you'd expect at prices you wouldn't.
Selected lines and stores subject to availability. Prices may vary in Little Waitrose, Channel Islands and concessions.
I'm Ease, half of eFax, the OG cloud fax solution, and here's my safe sidekick.
Security here. Whilst our network is so resilient that it's like you have a parachute on an extra parachute.
I'm all about spreading peace of mind, so you can sleep easy, knowing our solid network has your back. I've killed out more than 1 million businesses and nearly half the Fortune 500.
The ultimate combo.
eFax. It's secure easy. Head to efax.co.uk/corporate.
Does your bank do more to support your business, while also standing up for the things that matter most to you? If the answer is no, maybe it's time to switch to a more ethical bank. At the Cooperative Bank, we've spent 30 years campaigning on issues like climate change and social injustice. And we also offer 30 months free everyday business banking on our business current account. How does your bank do business? So Sole traders and single directors only. Apply online. Charges for cash and cheque transactions. Visit our website for details. Subject to status, eligible.